Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RSN Wrestling Podcast. This is the RSN Wrestling Podcast. This is the Mastermind style, and this is we got with me is the big guy, Rich.
What's up, guys?
How's it going? How's it going? So, basically, this is of course our edition of the Survivor Series preview that's going on. Basically, so of course Survivor Series is right around the corner. You already know it's pre Survivor Series. I should say pre-WrestleMania season. I guess this is the penciled in time period.
This is the actual start of WrestleMania season.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I mean, of course, this is probably like one of the most
for the
biggest nights.
This is WrestleMania season.
This is basically WrestleMania season. Yeah. This basically is. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. What'd you say? Especially a lot of changes, right?
I've heard a lot of fucking changes.
Oh my god, it's crazy.
The most random one I heard, which I personally think is retarded.
Mm-hmm.
As we all know, James Ellsworth got released.
Oh man, yeah.
Something I actually read today.
Mm-hmm.
There was going to be a storyline where he is supposed to be a transgender, so he has the right to fight for the women's champ on SmackDown. So he was going to have a match against Charlotte at WrestleMania.
They're gonna make him Harvey Whippleman, I guess.
I guess you could say that.
Wow, that's crazy. So I guess they're trying to, capitalize on that. But really, that's crazy. We're talking about.
I'll give you a guess whose idea that was.
I wonder who. Well, we haven't dropped his name, right?
We're not going to, but for people who are diehards of the show, you know who we're talking about.
Yep.
We'll give you the initials, KD, and it's not Kevin Durant.
It's not Kevin Durant. It's of course that guy. He jumped teams, but this is somebody who did something even more heinous. Well, a bunch of heinous things over. I'd say making a record amount of times that he's done so much heinous stuff over the years.
This is the person who said Eva Marie is the next Rock.
Mind you, Eva Marie got released early, I think, this year, right?
Not too long ago.
Really? Interesting. So I guess, yeah. So that's the same person. The same person that said that Roman Reigns is going to be the next John Cena, along with Mr. McMahon.
Well, I kind of see the resemblance on that one. So that one he's not wrong on.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see from there. I mean, personally, I think people don't like him. We're going to talk about that later on too. We're talking, of course, about Kevin Dunn. By the way, fuck Kevin Dunn. We got to bring that in every single podcast. So fuck Kevin Dunn.
It's not an RSN podcast if we don't say those three words.
Exactly. We should just call this the Fuck Kevin Dunn podcast. So maybe you never know. We might have a segment like that. So you have to see.
But just throwing it out there, that would kind of be. It might be a great segment, but it'll be kind of boring because all you think we'll be doing is just saying "fuck Kevin Dunn" over and over.
That's right. Maybe in our live show when we go to Hammerstein Ballroom, we'll be doing that. Probably in the crowd, we'll have a big sign that says "fuck Kevin Dunn." So if you see us,
or we just start a chant.
Try to chant "fuck Kevin Dunn." Just want to fuck a bit. Pretty cool. So we'll probably see that from there. Of course, that's December 15th. So that's of course right there.
That's a month away.
Yeah, a month away. So nonetheless, Survivor Series is this Sunday. So we're recording this, of course, on Friday. We're posting up sometime, I believe, the weekend. Basically, this is probably giving you that, this is like the Thanksgiving tradition. What used to be Thanksgiving tradition is now a big pay-per-view. So, of course, Survivor Series, as you know, is that night where, for the first time in a while, you see both brands.
SmackDown. This kind of reminds me of bragging rights.
It kind of is like bragging rights. It kind of is like, you seen those old video games, SmackDown versus Raw? Literally, this is SmackDown versus Raw. And it's, it is a big thing, so it's a big deal. A lot of big things happen. A lot of, very big matchups, very big, setups and things like that. So
well, if you remember, this was also the night of debuts.
Indeed, yeah.
1992.
Well, specifically,
Undertaker. 1996. The Rock.
That's right.
2012. The Shield.
That's right.
2015. Sting.
Yep.
So this is like the pay-per-view that you want to debut on.
That's right. And it's probably one of the biggest pay-per-views, I guess,
This is probably the third biggest behind WrestleMania and Royal Rumble.
Indeed. And it is a big Thanksgiving tradition, so you'll probably see that. But something's very special about this specific pay-per-view. So, of course, there's a big thing. Of course, it's SmackDown versus Raw. So, I mean, they're starting out with a bunch of, champion versus champion matches. And then also it's a traditional 5-on-5 match, But before we go into that, let's break down, of course, the card. So, first thing we have is Cruiserweight Championship. We got Enzo Amore versus Kalisto. What are your thoughts on this?
The match that no one gives a shit about.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. I mean, at this point, it's just like, okay, you know what? I think the long-term plan is to have Enzo Amore hold the title, which is good. I think it should be like that. But it's just, I think they're just doing this until Big Cass comes back from his injury, which won't be a while from now. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I think they said Mania.
Oh, really? So we'll have to see, I guess, yeah.
They said he's healing very quickly.
Really? So that's good. That's good. I think everybody wants to see Big Cass just come in and kick his ass. Because I know when they had this whole heel turn, it was actually all the way around. People didn't want to see it. Like, nah, come on, don't break him up. And then Big Cass got injured, of course, and that was like, okay, Enzo Amore is just out there in the fray. And then there were rumors that he's going to leave, he's going for a music career, whatever like that. But now you see
him.
Yeah.
Let him. No one likes him.
Exactly. Well, I think here's the thing, too. I mean, I can give them this, though. They've really developed Enzo as a really good heel, which is good for him, I think. It's like, he got a lot of heat, but it's good, though. I think he's good enough to become a future WWE champion, maybe in the near future. So it can happen. We'll just have to see when it happens, But, I mean, what do you think about this? Who do you think is going to win this? Kalisto, Enzo?
I want Kalisto, but I personally don't really give a fuck.
I really don't either. It's like, all right. I mean, I say the only big thing that can happen. We talked about this, of course, in our shoot. Maybe Neville comes back. Maybe he, does something with Enzo, and just it's not like a bullshit. Oh, kicking a nuts scenario. It's like an actual fucking thing. So we'll have to see how it works out.
Or a debut.
You never know. Yeah, so it could be, But I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I say the same thing. I think it could go either way. It's one of those matches like, it's all right. Whatever it is, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. I mean, moving on. So this is basically yeah.
So I know this is a different company, but it's something I just read. There's a new member of the Bullet Club.
Really? Another one?
A celebrity member.
Really? I wonder who.
Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell. Wow. Well, he's been a member for a long time, isn't he?
No, he just joined today.
Really?
See what happens when you're friends with Cody?
Yep. You make it on Arrow, but now look at this guy. He's doing more than just Arrow, so hats off. But I mean, it's it's interesting.
Back to WWE now.
Of course, back to WWE. So I mean, Stephen Amell, of course, big one. Didn't Stephen Amell and Neville have a match against Stardust and I think was it Rusev or somebody on Survivor Series? Or was it
SummerSlam 2016?
2016. I don't know, 2015, I think. Yeah, 2015 probably. Yeah, but it's it's still cool. I mean, we're moving on. We're talking about, of course, champion. So they got a series of champion versus champion matches. So the biggest ones, of course, are, I'd say the big thing right now is Intercontinental Champion versus United States Champion, The Miz versus Baron Corbin.
I'm really looking forward to that match because that has had great build-up via social media.
Oh man, they really, and that's true. I agree on that. They developed this feud into something pretty interesting because you haven't seen something that they've used for a while, which is social media. But it's also.
It was Neville and Stephen Amell versus King Barrett and Stardust.
Yeah, all right, exactly. But I mean, it's it's interesting that this match. I mean, that's the thing too. That was also by social media too. You see this one perfectly into it too. There was a point where he was talking about where Baron Corbin was like, you're gonna call me daddy or sometime. It's like, okay, it's like that kind of pushes it to the bar a little bit, but
the best promo was what Miz said though.
Mm-hmm.
He basically said, "Don't talk about my pregnant wife, or I'll kick your fucking teeth down your throat."
That's right.
I was like, Go Miz.
Go Miz, yeah.
But what he said in that promo though, Miz, he wasn't wrong.
No, he
Miz
wasn't. He wasn't.
works day in and day out, week after week, defends his title like there's no tomorrow.
That's right.
He makes that IC title what it's worth.
And he makes it relevant. That's the big thing. Because I think over the years we talked about this in our previous podcast.
What's the biggest title on Raw?
IC title, hands down.
It's defended almost every week.
Yeah.
When was the last time the Universal title was on TV?
That's right. That's right.
Exactly. No one has an answer.
Yeah, it's hurting them. It really is hurting them. So it's come to the point where it's like, okay, you know what? They really need to start, ramping up, what they're doing. It's like, okay, either they have
my opinion, the IC title is the title.
It is the title. Yeah. And I think it's good for the IC title, but overall it's it's a problem for WWE when they're looking at how to kind of develop the talent, things like that, what kind of programs to do. That's I think the only thing that's hurting them. But definitely I think it's probably one of the best things that are going on right now, is to benefit the title. But I mean nonetheless, I think I can admit to this, I think we were talking about it before. The Miz has really developed into this big star. So he's
been in the company for what?
Almost a decade.
12 years? 12 years that he's been in the company?
Mm-hmm. Former reality world star into wrestler. Pretty interesting. It's like, wow,
He's been in the company since 2004.
Yeah. In OVW, I think. Yeah. Well, actually, Tough Enough, too. He was in Tough Enough, I guess, yeah. So he's been doing a lot of stuff. So,
he's been on the main roster since 2006.
Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty interesting. This guy, he deserves it, so it's good, Hands down, the only person that should win this match, I think, probably surprising to hear, Baron Corbin, I think. Because Baron Corbin could benefit a lot from being, beating the Miz of all people,
I say Miz.
But see, yeah. I mean, if the the Miz Taraj gets involved, maybe then, But I don't know, we have to see how that works, But we talked about this, I think, before too. I think it's universally known. I think if Raw or SmackDown, one of the two brands wins at least 3 out of 4 matches, or no, 4 out of pretty much 3 or 4 matches out of the whole card, they pretty much won the whole night. So if you were thinking about it in that perspective, I'd say pretty much this is like any of these championship matches have a lot on stake, So this could be one win in their column or one lose in their column. You never know. So
we'll I just want to throw this out there to make Miz more better than he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's the 25th Triple Crown winner.
Yeah.
5th all time. 5th, mind you. 5 people have done this.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And I think he's the only active person to do it.
Really?
No.
To become a Grand Slam champ?
Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, he's been IC champ, US champ, world champ, tag champ. Yeah, he's done it all. Yeah. Well, Seth, I think Seth hasn't won the IC title. You're right.
Seth is 1 short. Roman's 1 short. Cena's 1 short.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. And he's probably the only. Yeah.
There's also one other person who's 1 title short, and he's only been in the company for 2 years.
AJ Styles, right?
He's only the tag team title short.
Really? So he hasn't held the tag title yet. They gotta have his Bullet Club. Title. Yeah. They gotta have his Bullet Club reunion at some point. So we'll have to see from there. But I mean, well, we're talking about that, of course. So I mean, of course, we talk about of course, Rollins, Ambrose, and everybody else. But what about? Let me ask you this then. We talk about, of course, Ambrose and Seth Rollins. They were the world tag champs at some point, right? And now they lost the titles. Now it's like, okay, you know what? What's the build now? What's gonna happen? What's the angle? So now it kind of begs the question: what's gonna be the next step from here? What's gonna be going on from here now? So big thing was, of course, the New Day came out. This obviously built up to the Shield versus New Day, which we'll talk about later on. But before we go into that,
I was actually pissed because I really wanted to see the Shield versus the Usos.
Really? I mean, I thought it was a pretty smart move. I think it was good for what you call it, the change of the card, which is okay. But at the same time, it's like you really want to see Shield and you really want to see Shield again. I mean, of course, again the New Day. It's like okay, it's just another ploy to have Roman at some capacity at Survivor Series. That's pretty much what the main purpose is. That's the reason they brought the Shield back. So it's like there's no point. But you're saying that if it was Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus the Usos, you probably pick Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
To be honest, I wouldn't care who won because I really think that would have been like match of the night.
Yeah, well, I think that hands down, Cesaro and Sheamus are pretty good. They're probably one of the most. I think Cesaro is probably one of the most, or both of them individually are two of the most underrated talents.
Oh, Cesaro is hands down the most underrated wrestler in the company.
We said this, we said this time and time again. They should be the new They should be the This like individually, one of them should be the Royal Rumble winner. In that case, it would be Cesaro. So we'll have to see from there. But yeah, I think hands down, this is two of the best teams on that's two of the best tag teams on Raw right now. So it makes sense to have
not even on Raw, probably in the WWE.
Yeah, the WWE. Yeah, so it makes sense to have
the top teams.
Yeah, it makes sense to have them both. In the same. Just to have them fight out, and definitely this could be a hell of a match. So it's just a matter of time how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. Of course, how it's going to play out. So we'll have to see from there.
Well, I know this is out of like context. Going back to like ROH and New Japan, you know how they have like the 6-man title.
Yeah.
Do you think WWE should do that?
I think they should. Definitely. It kind of builds up more talent, gives people more a sense of okay, you're involved, in the show. So
and you actually have stables.
Title. Yeah. And it makes sense. It totally makes sense, But it's just a matter. I think WWE just very, very hesitant on that. They're kind of like, okay, you know what? They don't like the idea of factions. That's one thing. But it makes sense. I think it makes sense definitely.
There's only certain factions that they like.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it makes sense to have the tag. It makes sense to have more tag. I mean, here's the thing: any kind of tag match you see, there's always a lot of spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, you always see a lot of spots. So, of course, we talk about NXT War Games, right? They have a kind of 6-man tag. Imagine how many spots are going to be in that match. God knows, So
especially there's no roof.
Yeah, there's no roof. There's a lot of stuff going on. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But I mean, it's going to be an interesting card nonetheless. That's the thing. We also talk about, of course, the 5-on-5 traditional elimination tag match. So that's pretty interesting too. So that's another thing we have to look forward to. But so you think Cesaro, Sheamus versus Usos? Who do you think is going to go over in this one?
Probably the Usos.
Usos. So SmackDown gets one.
Yeah.
Or actually, SmackDown gets one. So Raw got one, SmackDown got one.
It's 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. So the next match from here, we got Raw Women's Champion versus SmackDown Women's Champion.
Of course, you know who I'm picking.
Your girl Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair.
Of course,
I'm actually tied between this. I'm tied between this. I'm tied. I'm just like I don't know.
But
it could go either way.
But to be honest,
sounds good.
I see a swerve happening.
Mm-hmm.
Swerve. The mic's off.
Yeah.
What kind of swerve?
Carmella cashing in the title and going to Raw.
Well, here's a question. I heard that too. But who is she going to cash in against?
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
So she's going to go to Raw.
Yep.
So possibly we might see the original Enzo and Cass on Raw. With what you call Carmella.
Yep.
Down the line, you never know. I agree with that. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool to see. Because at the end of the day, who's actually the who actually got the win for that? It'll be Raw then. So
it will be Raw.
Be good, Yeah, it would be Raw. So that'd be good. But I would agree with that.
But then here's the thing, though. SmackDown could win that match. Meaning Charlotte beats Alexa.
Yeah.
But then Raw gets the win also because Carmella could cash in.
Yep.
And beat Alexa.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So
they didn't make
So it would be a win for both shows. So it would be 2-2 then.
Yeah, that's right. Well, 2-2. That's right. So that would be 2-2. It also has the fact that you have this interbrand kind of situation. they never talked about if it was gonna be, you know, this whole Money in the Bank,
They
whether
never
the
said if it
person can
was a
cash in.
SmackDown only. They never
Yeah, it was a
specified.
SmackDown. Yeah, a SmackDown exclusive. Cash in, or it could be a Raw. Cash in. They never even said that. It says a woman's title shot you get. So that's right. It could happen. So you never see that. So we talk about that. So now they're 2-2. Raw and SmackDown 2-2 tied head to head. So of course, before we go into the next match from here, let's talk about, of course, probably the big headliner, or what was before not the headliner, now it technically is. Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles, the Universal Champ for the first time ever versus WWE Champ for the first time ever.
Wait, there's a Universal Champ?
Yep. Yeah, there is, and this is guy.
He's allowed to fight?
Yeah. Well, this exclusive night. Specifically, he's on this, this the big four contract. Basically, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam only, exclusively. So,
that's what it feels like when you see him.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we saw him at No Mercy, but it was like still a while back. It's like, okay, he's on Raw, okay, making a couple of promos. He just sits there like a dickhead, just okay, whatever, and does stuff. Brock, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I'll go to Suplex City. It's okay. Send me to Suplex City. It's all right. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Suplex City. What are your thoughts on this?
I love Raw,
but
I love AJ Styles.
I think everybody does. Well, here's the thing.
So,
let me ask you this.
I'm going SmackDown.
SmackDown. So before I ask you that, let me ask you this thing. What's a better card, Jinder versus Brock, or Brock versus AJ?
Brock AJ.
Brock AJ, right? Hands down, same thing. I would have said the same exact thing. I think what it comes down to, any time it's that kind of scenario, everybody's always gonna go for this card. You gotta think about this. This match went from being the card no one really cared about to being a match that's like, okay, this is gonna be interesting.
The match everyone cares about.
Yeah, everyone cares about now. I think this is gonna be slaughter. I think Brock Lesnar is gonna slaughter him because they want to make him look strong. I mean, there was also rumors that basically there was gonna be a run-in by Jinder. He's gonna screw AJ out of winning or something like that. We'll have to see. From what I heard, this is one of my coworkers. They told me, one of my managers actually. He said, "What if this would have happened? Raw versus SmackDown breaks out, all hell breaks loose, and basically you see, it's like a whole scenario where, the whole SmackDown roster and the whole Raw roster are there, duking it out, lumberjack scenario. Would that be cool?
Yeah,
it's a thought, but it can happen. You never know. Yeah, it's a thought. You never know. It can happen. Yeah. So that basically is, in that case, it would be 3-1 or 3-3. 3-2, 3-2, should I say? So now they're not tied. So now either way, kind of tip the favor. I think everybody's kind of leaning towards Brock, obvious choice, which everybody wants to see AJ win, of course. But we'll have to see from there. If that, if it's the other way around, good. If it's not, then fuck, But before we go into, of course, the 5-on-5, let's talk about Shield.
Everyone wants to see AJ just because of the fact he's the most talented wrestler in the world.
Yep.
Yes, I'm not saying just WWE. He's the most talented wrestler in the world.
In the world, indeed. Yep.
And you actually see him every single week.
That's right.
And just for the fact what happened in the past couple weeks. He was in where were they, in Australia or some shit?
Yeah.
He was in Australia Saturday. Flew into America Sunday. Wrestled Sunday night. Was on Raw Monday night, wrestled, and was on Tuesday night and wrestled.
Yep.
All in the matter of 4 days, he was in 2 countries and wrestled 4 straight days.
That's right.
Not even 4 straight days. 4 live events.
That's what you call a workhorse right there. That's a workhorse. He's making a lot of money. He's a workhorse. But you don't see him bitching like other people do.
But remember, he's a vanilla midget.
Oh, he's a vanilla midget. Right.
Who's never going to make it in the industry. But he's the best wrestler in the fucking world.
Oh. Right. Exactly. Says some people right there. Oh, another thing, people in, some people said that he was not gonna, he was not gonna perform anywhere. He's not gonna be on the big stage. He'll never be there. Look at him now. So fuck you talking about Jim Cornette. Fuck you talking about Kevin Nash.
In PWI Top 500. He's the number 2 wrestler behind Okada. I personally say AJ's number 1.
Yeah, that's true. And I think hands down,
just throwing it out there.
But I think hands down, it's kind of like this. Of course, we saw No Mercy. He was there to fill in for, he was there to fill in for Bray Wyatt after this whole, they call it a viral infection. Basically,
and he put on a fucking amazing match with Finn.
That was a fucking amazing match. That was like goddamn dream match.
And that was off a 13-hour flight too, so he barely got any sleep. He had no time to prepare.
Any sleep. He went straight from South America to the short notice. Okay, you're facing against Finn Balor. Okay, let's make it a show. Made that show work. That match stole the whole show. So it just begs the question. It's like how
When did he find out?
Yeah,
like 2-3 days before.
Yeah,
he found out Thursday. Still completed his tour
Uh-huh.
in Australia.
Mhm.
Took a 13-hour flight.
Yep.
Had no time to actually prepare to fight Finn Balor. Put on a 6-star match.
Mm-hmm.
Fought on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Attacked Raw in the Under Siege segment.
Yep. Which was ingenious, yeah.
And then fought on SmackDown the next night.
That's right.
But he's not going to make it in the industry.
Oh, no. They didn't say that. They said that he's not going to be the big star,
I mean,
you'll see him complaining.
Well, he's only 2-time SmackDown champ and a 1-time US champ?
Yep.
All in the matter of...
Yeah, 2 or 3-time champ, I think, yeah.
All in the matter of 2 years. And he had one of the best Royal Rumble debuts. He lasted 35 minutes.
That's right. And one of the, like I said, the best performer. We said that all the time. Best performer on the roster. Hands down. He gets that. So, you had the best performer facing against the best
performer in the world.
Best performer in the world versus a part-timer.
And he's 40 years old.
40 years old, so, yeah. A lot of stuff going for AJ Styles, the champ that runs the camp. Hands down. But, I mean, that's one thing. So now, of course, we talk about, of course, moving on. Let's talk about Roman Reigns, the Shield versus the New Day. What do you think about this whole thing with the Shield? All this stuff going on.
Oh, wait, you were correct. He's a 2-time WWE champ and a 2-time US champ.
Yep.
That's 4 champs he's held in less than 2 years.
That's right.
And he's a 2-time wrestler of the year.
Yeah. Hands down, best performer of 2017, I guess. The most dependable wrestler there. So, makes total sense to have him, represent the show, which is perfect, So
and he's the best wrestler ever in TNA history.
TNA history. I say ROH history too if you wanted to. Fuck it. And New Japan. Fuck it.
We could argue ROH with a lot of people though.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean they come up with Lost Stars, so
Daniel Bryan, Austin Aries,
Tyler Black.
Daniels, Tyler Black.
What about John Moxley?
Yeah. Samoa Joe. Yeah. There's a lot of people you can argue ROH.
Uh-huh. I mean, especially a lot of people, and you look at this whole card, all these matches. Some of these guys are all former ROH guys. Some of these guys are former TNA guys. Some of these guys are former, basically indie guys. People said that indies aren't shit. Look at them now. These guys are the biggest show.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 people out of 25 are former indie talents.
Yep. So
and that's on a WWE card.
Yeah, and that's on a WWE major pay-per-view card. So that just tells you something. So
19 out of 25 people.
Yeah, and that just says that Vince might be out of touch with WWE, but the WWE as a company, I think they're starting to see, fuck you mean we are in touch, so that's good. They're on the pulse of the
There's
future.
also a gentleman by the name of Triple H who has a big say in this now. Also,
Yep.
telling you people,
and he has a big pulse on WWE too. So I mean, in the future, so hats off to him too. But I mean, we're talking about, of course, Triple H, Tyler Black, Jon Moxley. Let's talk about, of course, Shield and New Day. What do you feel about this whole thing with Roman being built with the Shield?
Shield wins, New Day breaks up.
New Day breaks up. You feel like it's gonna be turned?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It kind of feels, it's ironic how what you call it? SmackDown was the one that was what you call it, and the person that was heading that raid, or the group that was heading that raid when they had the whole Under Siege thing, was the New Day. And when they came back, same thing. They came on Raw. They did that whole thing. They cost what you call it, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose tag titles. So it makes sense to have these two fight off. So it's like it begs the question. If you're gonna have this kind of match, why not? It makes total sense to have them to break up, because they have all this build, and then. But who do you feel like is gonna turn? Let me ask you that.
To be honest, Big E. I think he has potential to actually hold the title. Not the title, a title.
A title, yeah. I mean, I think it's also I've thought about Xavier Woods, because I think Xavier Woods, if you think about it, Kofi's established, Big E's established, but Xavier, he hasn't had much of a
And he's talented.
Yeah, he's talented. I mean, he has up down down. Shout out stuff up down down. He does his
show.
whole stuff. Yeah, he does CES all the time. CES, of course, that's like that big game show conference. They got and everything like that. So, he's doing a lot of stuff.
And we all know he likes to turn pages.
He likes to turn pages, indeed. He likes to be rated R, so that's one thing.
We don't get all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods, yeah. So, oh my God,
great fucking line.
That's right. Great fucking line, indeed. I mean, it kind of begs the question too. So it's like, okay, that happens. But overall in this match, Shield wins. What does it do for their careers? Okay, they're a big tag team. They're the most established tag team. All right, fine. They debuted at the same pay-per-view, Survivor Series. So it's best for them to win. So it makes total sense. It's what it is.
So what's the count now?
So that's what 3-4. So at this point,
Miz,
3-3.
Mm-hmm. Miz, Carmella switching sides.
Yep. It's technically 3-3, I think, or 3-4. They might be tied right now, 4-4.
I think so.
But nonetheless, I mean, it's still, it basically comes down to that. But regardless, if it is tied still, there's still a chance, because you got to think about it too.
There's two also big matches.
Yeah, the two biggest matches right now on the card being, the whole 5-on-5 men's and 5-on-5 women's traditional Survivor Series elimination match. So of course, this is where it's
so
basically
let's do the women's match.
Yep. And basically being the fact that, so of course we're talking about the women's match. They got basically on one side, Team Raw, Alicia Fox, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, and Asuka versus SmackDown team. It was going to be Becky Lynch, Naomi, Carmella, Tamina, and a superstar still to be named.
I'm hearing two names being thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing a returning Nikki Bella and Paige.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I mean, well, I've heard this too. So, I mean, we talked about before. Carmella cashes in, let's say, right?
I also want to be surprised, Natty.
I mean, it could be Natty too. You never know. I mean, well, here's another thing too. We talked about it before. Let's say, Carmella cashes in against Alexa Bliss. Does that mean that she's out of this match? Which would be interesting. Okay.
I think they might do this match in the beginning of the show if they want her to cash in.
Yeah, I guess. It kind of seems like it'll be early in the show.
Remember at WrestleMania a couple years ago?
Yeah.
What was the opening match? Orton versus Seth.
Yeah.
And what closed the show? Seth winning the title.
That's right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if you see this match open the show.
Mm-hmm.
Which basically means Carmella's going to cash in later on.
That's right.
But either way, I think Carmella's going to cash in on either one, to be honest.
Yeah. I think for sure, I think that's solidified. So now it remains the fact that, okay, that, this whole match happens. Who's that last superstar that's going to be named? That's the big question now. So it could be anyone, it could be, basically, I think everybody's talking about
Paige, Natty, or Nikki.
Yeah. Which, okay, it makes sense. We'll have to see from there. But hands down, who do you think is going to win this match?
Team Raw.
Team Raw. I think you got to think about it. They got Nia Jax. They got Asuka. I've heard somewhere that somebody's trying to. I think Dana is gonna screw Asuka. I think Asuka, and cost her the match, from what I heard.
So they could still make her look strong, Asuka, and be undefeated and all that.
Yeah. So that way she still if they do, let's say Raw does happen to lose, it can happen. I have this coworker who's very very he's super passionate about SmackDown. He represents SmackDown like he bleeds blue. And he's told me all the time, he's like,
you also want to know another way you could eliminate Asuka?
Oh.
So she still kind of looks strong. You have her lock in the Asuka lock and don't let go after 5.
Yeah. That's right. And she gets disqualified?
Yeah. So she technically doesn't lose. She's not technically physically eliminated by pin.
That's right.
Or submits. Mm-hmm. She doesn't let go of the lock. Makes sense.
That's right. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, it's kind of again, it kind of
like you said, have Dana Brooke come out and just basically get Asuka counted out.
Yeah, I mean they've said this. They've said this on the live broadcast that Survivor Series is a night where rivalries are tossed to the side. They take all the rivalries and they kind of bury it and say fuck it. But I think this is not the case. I think this is a case where they're going to kind of find any way to, exclude any kind of storyline just to kind of go ahead and prove a point. So, we'll have to see how that works, It can happen,
Look at this. Becky and Carmella, Naomi and Carmella. Mm-hmm. That's 2 rivalries right there, but they're probably putting everything aside to represent Team Blue.
Yeah, I think everything is to represent Team Blue. So that's the big thing, So we'll have to see how that's going to work from there. I mean, it's it's tough. I mean, for me, I think same thing.
Nia Jax and Sasha, Nia Jax and Bayley.
Yeah. Well, I think here's the thing too. You got to think about this. When it comes to Raw versus SmackDown, if it's a matter of Raw versus SmackDown, Raw, of course, is going to have their 25th anniversary show, which is historically going to be in 2 locations. Of course, they're trying to build that. Yeah, first time ever, simultaneously in 2 locations, which is a historic kind of thing. It's a historic feat that never happened before. So it's just, like I said, it remains to be seen how that's going to play out. It remains to be seen how that's going to, kind of come through. But I think it's, for Raw to lose would be very bad on their part, because now it's like, okay, fine, they're not getting that much attention on their show, but at the same time, it's like, they're kind of being deprived of it, and it's like, it costs them the victory. It doesn't make sense for them, So we'll have to see how that works out. Finally, last but not least, we got Team Raw.
The big match.
Oh my God, so many! This is the main event written all over it. So this is a 5-on-5 Team Raw, Team SmackDown. The captain, GM Kurt Angle, for Triple H, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe versus
great fucking team.
Great fucking team indeed.
To be honest, that's a dream team.
It is a dream. It is. I think all those matches. Well, we're gonna talk about this in a minute. Basically, Raw, of course, SmackDown. Captain, no, what you call it? The captain being, of course,
the commissioner.
Commissioner Shane McMahon, John Cena, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode. Bleacher Report posted something. I think a couple of days ago. They were talking about how if you add up all the world titles between all those people in the matches and all all in this whole card right here, basically this match alone, you could see that there's probably about they calculated. I think if it were only WWE titles, probably about between each of these teams, 26 for SmackDown 21 for Raw. If you were to add up all the world titles that each person has held altogether. So,
Well, you got
you know,
16 from Cena.
huh?
You got 13. It's either 12 or 13 from Orton.
Yep.
So right there, you got 29.
Yep.
I'll tell you right now exactly.
Mm-hmm.
For
I mean, but here's the thing too. You gotta take into account that, you know, these guys won the Indies, right? So you gotta count the IWGP
just
title.
between Orton and Cena, you have 29 titles. Triple H is 13, I want to say. Maybe
Yep.
14?
He's 14. 14 titles, yeah. You gotta think about it. Remember last year he held the title.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 just from Triple H.
Yep.
Kurt is 1, 2, 6 times.
Mhm.
And Finn is 1. So you have 21 to 29.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, also, you gotta take into account if you were to kind of add up all the independent world titles that they held.
The only one who has yet to hold the title is Braun Strowman.
Really, that's interesting. I mean, before this, it was, I think, what was it? Before this, it was, of course, Jason Jordan, who got eliminated, and of course, because of Triple H.
Jason Jordan.
Oh my God! You seen the crowd booing him? It's crazy. It's like, oh my God, it makes total sense. I mean, it's like the crowd. I wouldn't blame the crowd. It's like, fuck Jason Jordan. Seriously, who wants to see Jason Jordan?
What has he proved?
Yeah, what does he prove exactly? It's like, okay, fine. He's, they're doing a stupid ass storyline with him being, Kurt Angle's son. Where's it leading to? It's like, come on, man. Of course, I think the end goal is.
In the word of the great Taz, from his Taz show, copyrights to Taz, not stealing any of his words. Who has he beat? Who has he beat?
Yeah.
Who has Jason Jordan beat to prove? He beat Bray Wyatt.
No one really.
That's the biggest person he's beat since his Raw debut. He's beaten Bray Wyatt. Okay, he's beaten a lot. He's beaten Elias. So what?
Yeah.
Congrats, you beat Bray Wyatt, who just came back off his viral
infection. That's how they're doing it. Yeah.
His viral meningitis. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I could be Bray Wyatt coming off viral meningitis.
That's right. I mean, what it just comes down to is just like, okay, the way that they built this card, and I mean, in previous times, here's something that I really found out. Every time there was a Survivor Series match, Randy Orton was always he was undefeated. He always came out undefeated.
Survivor.
He's a sole survivor every time. So that works in their favor. I think honestly, and I was talking with my coworker. SmackDown has to win this. I think SmackDown, they have to win this match. It makes sense. Because they have all this stuff going on. Unless we talked about it before, storylines aren't tossed out the window. You're gonna see where Shane McMahon gets screwed in some way by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn or something like that. Possibly
who aren't on the card.
Which it's bizarre. It's crazy. So at some point, definitely they're going to be there backstage. They're probably going to be doing something. They're going to be there at some capacity. So it's just a matter of where.
If you look at it, who's not on the card? Bray Wyatt's not on the card.
Yep.
Kevin Owens isn't on the card.
Yep.
Sami Zayn's not on the card.
Jinder's not on the card. Natalia's not on the card as of now.
The only person who has a chance of actually being on the card is Natty.
Yeah. And I mean, here's another interesting thing too. All Canadians. Last time they had Survivor Series, it was in Toronto, Canada. And now this year, you see these guys, all the Canadians are totally out. Jinder, of course, he's Canadian. He's totally out. Natalia, out. Of course, our family. Owen, Zane, they're from Canada. Not in the show. So it's kind of like this conspiracy. You can have this kind of thing where all the Canadians are out. So it's like, what are they trying to do? Maybe it's kind of like maybe like a un-Americans kind of thing. You never know. So that's some there. But I mean, it's still a stacked card. A lot of big matches. Of course, as we talked about it before, we probably went through everything right now. It's gonna be interesting to see. I think everybody's kind of waiting and saying, okay, how's it gonna play out? What's gonna happen? How are they gonna build for WrestleMania? But before we go, let's talk about this. What do you feel like is going to be the how are they going to build the matches to WrestleMania? If you were to kind of say, okay, based on this Survivor Series, how would they build WrestleMania? How would you build it?
To be honest,
yep,
I have no idea.
Really? So it's unpredictable at this point.
I really have no idea.
Really? I mean, it kind of begs the question that if here's one thing. They have Raw, they have all these kind of things with Raw, all these kind of things going on in SmackDown. There's always these underlying storylines, underlying things going on, but they never talk about it. They never discuss it. They never go ahead and go into depth with it. I think after Survivor Series, we'll probably see that. So I guess they're saving everything for after Survivor Series. Maybe the Survivor Series for Monday's Raw. So we'll have to see how that's going to work, So it might be that, another rumor I keep hearing is that maybe Paige isn't the last member. Maybe they're going to save her for Monday. Maybe Neville's not coming back at Survivor Series. He might be coming back Monday. Maybe they might have all these kind of things.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, only time will tell. Last year, you got to think about it. Last year, they had that surprise with Goldberg coming back. This year, you never know, They have all kinds of discussions with different kind of people. So, things can happen. So we just have to wait to see. But nonetheless, this is our Survivor Series preview. This is the RSN Wrestling Podcast. Check out PWO, Pro Wrestling Opinion. 3 letters, PWO. Also, you can check us out on Facebook. You also got Twitter right there, which is at RSN Podcast, of course, run by the big guy. We also have our Instagram page. You can check that out for more updates and all that stuff. We'll see you guys out. This is the RSN Wrestling Podcast. This is the Mastermind, the big guy.
We're RSN. You're not. We're out.
We're out. We'll see you guys out.